We took a train from Sorrento to Herculaneum, and the reason we chose Herculaneum is because we had heard that the city and the archaeology and the pottery was much more well preserved than Pompeii. So this is Herculaneum, and I'll try to explain things the best I can based on what the tour guide said and what I cross-referenced in historical articles. Mount Vesuvius erupted in the year 79 and covered this town. And Titus, the emperor in 79, after the volcano erupted and things cooled off, he did want there to be an excavation, but it was going to be too expensive, so they left it alone. Now tradition states that in the 1800s, somebody was digging a well, discovered some marble and dug a little bit more, and that's what led to the excavations. But history says that numerous excavations had been going on during the 1700s anyway. The blast of the volcano sent falling debris and crushed Pompeii, but it didn't crush Herculaneum. In Herculaneum, what the citizens did is they fled to the water, to the boathouses, to wait on boats to come rescue them. And there was a rescue in process. Boats were being sent, but they didn't reach the city in time. At 1 a.m. the next morning, there was a second eruption, and mixtures of ash and hot gases flowed into Herculaneum at 100 miles an hour. And this happened 6 consecutive times. And though it obliterated some of Herculaneum, it preserved the structures, objects, and also victims. Now previously it was believed that suffocation by ash killed the people, but in recent studies they've concluded that it was actually the heat from the volcano. The surges were 480 degrees Fahrenheit, and even at a distance of 10 miles away from the vents of the homes, it killed the people inside those homes. And that explains why so many bodies were found in homes and had not made it down to the boathouses yet. One of the things that I found interesting too was they found a lot of jewelry on a lot of the fingers and a lot of necklaces around their necks. One skeleton had numerous necklaces and had 1 or 2 rings on every finger. And the belief is they were fleeing their homes knowing that they might not be able to retrieve those items, so they were taking their most valuable possessions with them. So I'm filming this on my iPhone right now, and one of the things that I forgot to mention is that the people at Herculaneum and Pompeii, they didn't know that it was a volcano. They just thought it was this beautiful mountain. Now, in the wintertime, that mountain was snow-capped, and in the summer, it was beautiful and green. And so you had this beautiful mountain in the background, you had the ocean in front of you, seaside views. Back in those days, this was like a resort town. If you were going to live there, you had to be financially well off. But imagine living your entire life, and one day you're just going about your business, and that giant mountain behind you, it just explodes, and you realize that was a volcano the entire time. Talk about being shocked and not knowing what to do, not knowing you needed an escape plan, and most of the people weren't able to make it out. Now this statue was dedicated to the mayor of the city. He was highly esteemed and had donated a lot of his personal wealth to the building of the city. And at his death, the townspeople erected this monument in dedication to him, Marcus Nonius Balbus. This was actually his home, and this platform allowed him a beautiful view of the ocean and to receive visitors. Being within walking distance of the docks, it was prime real estate. As we toured the town and toured some of the homes, some of the art remained intact. And here's some of the statues that were found in some of the homes, but these are replicas. These are hunting dogs or wolves attacking a deer. And there were others, of course, but I found that one to be the most interesting. When you're with a tour group, you don't want to lag behind taking videos and photos while they're waiting on you. In this house, some of the tile floor is still there. And instead of them hanging pictures and paintings in their homes, they actually painted the paintings on the walls. And this was in a hallway, and they put a frame over the painting to protect it. This shows that they did have upstairs in a lot of their homes. And though this has been restored because it was wood, this is what it would have looked like. This is one of the main paths where people who lived there would dump their waste, and then city workers would come and clean it and shove it toward the ocean. Though it looks like a public bathroom, this is actually a restaurant. And those circles is where giant plates of food would have sat, and then there may have been fire beneath them to keep the food warm. This is the entrance to the restaurant, and it had a sliding wooden door, and you can still see the crevice of where the door was. Beside the restaurant was a public fountain, and this is a carving of the sea god and water god Neptune. Water would have been spitting out of his mouth into this pool of water. This is some of the original terracotta over the door. And some of that wood leading to the second floor is the original wood. Some of it is a reconstruction, but some of it is original. Now those rectangular shapes is actually where the wooden beams were that was creating the base for the second floor. Snakes were celebrated in the culture because they represented guardians. This is actually an original wooden door on the left, and on the right is a replica. And that top black beam is encased with glass because that is the original beam. Now those pillars were higher, creating an incline, and they held up an aqueduct. And they would pump water through the city center so people could get it. It's protected by glass, but this is the original pump. It wasn't anything fancy, of course, it was just a lever that they pumped up and down. You can see the burnt covering of that wood, that is the original wood, and then of course the newer looking wood is replicas. Now if my memory is right, the tour guide said that this was a wine shop and the owner had actually painted the prices of the different pitchers of wine that you could buy. It's hard to see it through the fence, but there on the right is actually the remnants of a bed. And then that is the original door, protected by glass. These are all original clay cisterns containing different grains and water and wine. This was a fountain in someone's home, and it would have been a place where they would have come and gathered together. And to have this in their home, they were a wealthy family. Now this is a bathhouse, and when I studied abroad in Morocco, I actually got to go to one of these, a bathhouse for men, and the way it worked was you would go in, you would leave your clothes at a locker, and there was someone there to watch over it. You would go into the bathhouse, and there would have been 2 troughs. One would have been really cold water, and the other trough would have been really hot water. And there were fires under those troughs to keep that water really hot. And you would take a bucket and you would mix the amount of cold water you wanted with the amount of hot water you wanted so that you would get the temperature that you wanted. And you would stand over a drain and kind of have a bucket bath. And there were even places that you could sit and have conversations about religion and politics. The bathhouse felt like a sauna. So there was an excuse to hang out in there. It probably wasn't pretty to sit there and watch people bathe beside you, but you probably got used to it. I found the art on these pillars to be interesting, so I documented it. That, of course, would have been a second floor.
That's good.
And there at the bottom is the original stairs, but they had to build new stairs as a replica to help everyone understand what these homes looked like. These are original sidewalks, and there's little bits of marble to decorate the sidewalks. I found this interesting. It's actually a press for you to press your tunic. So they would wash your tunic and they would use human urine as a cleaning agent. And then they would wash that out, of course, and that giant iron was a hot press. You put your tunic there and they would press the tunic, and after that, your clothes were ironed. This would have been a fountain in the middle of someone's home and the original doors. This is an original bed, and this is how big their bedrooms were. They were very small. Bedrooms weren't large living spaces like they are in some people's homes now. Bedrooms are more like rooms on the side where you went to sleep there, and then you came out into the center of the house or the courtyard to be with the family. These are all original materials, and I think that it communicates well that every window was different. Some windows were made out of wood and some were made out of iron. This is an outside garden or courtyard of someone's home. And these are multiple homes overlooking the ocean. Think condos, if you will. Each archway was a house. After being outside, we went into the museum and we got to see jewelry and pottery that was found on location. There was also glassware and ironware. And this is our tour guide, Diego. Megan and I really enjoyed him. At the end of the tour, we started talking to him. Come to find out, he had his bachelor's degree in archaeology and had been a part of some archaeology digs. He also gave us his business card, and I told him that I was going to make this video and he wanted me to send it to him, so I'll put Diego's information in the body of the video, just like I have the hotels and the places we went to, so that you can go there yourself. One of the things I found charming about Italy's parks and historical monuments is they take very good care of the grounds. This was just the area outside the park. The people of Italy keep their things looking nice, and it's something that I noticed everywhere I went in the country. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, hit the like button, And also I'll be doing more travel videos in the future of Capri,
Of Sorrento, one thing. So we have the same rough formation.
Positano, and our last few days in Rome. I just published the video in Florence if you want to go look at it. And subscribe to my channel and you'll see some more videos that I'll make about travel in the future.